Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I'm down in my workshop. It's about 50 degrees in here, which is much better than 90 degrees. So I'm not complaining. And I'm going to try to show you something on my. This is my Lenovo Android tablet. Now, what I attempted to do about a half an hour ago is I tried to set up a program called BlueStacks, which lets you run Android programs on your PC. And that way I could do screen capture and show you this program much better as far as viewing on my PC. But the actual running of this program, it was kind of quirky on my PC. So I came down here in my workshop, and the reason I'm here is my Android tablet, my Lenovo tablet, which I've had for about 3 years. It's got a 16 gigabyte memory hard drive, or one of those little things. Everybody calls one of those little things, memory card. And over the years, I had just piled it full of programs, applications, and it kept telling me that, hey, you can't install or you can't do an update because you're out of memory, and I struggled with that all year long. Well, a couple of months ago, it started acting kind of strange. And for instance, when I would run an application, it would just sit there and sit there and sit there. It wouldn't do anything. And so I'd have to power it off, power it back on. And then it didn't want to come back on. It would start the logon screen, and it would just sit there and sit there for like 5 minutes. And then it would finally come on. And then I noticed that I hadn't done a bunch of updates to some of the applications. I tried to do those updates. That wasn't working. And so I thought, well, this tablet is shot. I'm going to get a new tablet. So I got to thinking, another thing that's been popping up for about 9 months on this tablet is a message saying there is an Android OS upgrade available, which you can install. And I think this had 4 point something, Android 4 point something. But if you install it, you lose everything. And I thought, well, this thing is so screwed up right now, I'm just going to go for it. Maybe I can get it working again instead of having to buy a brand new. Well, that worked. But, of course, all my applications were gone. So this morning I've been reinstalling applications. This is one of them. And let me zoom in a little bit. This is one I showed you several months ago. And it's one of about half a dozen or so shortwave schedule programs. So I liked it. I really liked it. And so I reinstalled it. And this time I kind of got picky about what programs I installed. So the dozen or so programs I installed were ones that I use a lot, such as this one. So I installed this, and when I did, and I've been a beta tester for this application for 9 months or so. Well, when I did, it came up and said, by the way, there's a premium version, and it will give you two new features, which I'll show you in a second, and it's $1.50. Well, I figured, I could contact the author and get a free upgrade because I am a beta tester, but hey, $1.50, I'll pay for it. So I bought it. So I installed it, and I saw the new features, and I thought, I need to show people what the new features are. Now, the original program is free. It's called Shortwave Schedules, Shortwave Schedules. And I'll go back to my Android main page in a minute and show you the icon so you can recognize it and find it in the store. And this now is the premium version, $1.50 $1.50 or $1.49. And it said it has 2 new features. Now, let me try to zoom in a little better because I realize this is not as good as if I could have got it running on my PC on BlueStacks. So I'm having to use a webcam, and let me zoom in some so you can see it. So I'm trying to point with my mouse pointer on my PC. That ain't gonna work. Okay, let me get a pencil or something. Something small. So here we go. Here's a pen. Okay, so here are the 2 new features right here. One's right here called Now, and the other one is Favorites. So Now, and I was going to click on it. Okay, let me select that. I said, let me select that. There we go. So it then gives you this listing of the international broadcast bands, the meter bands, and you can select one. And what you do is you scroll up and down like this. Now, that's what I was trying to do on my BlueStacks program, and it wouldn't do that. You use your mouse, and it would like go from the top to the bottom and nothing in between. So that wasn't working. So my favorite band is 31 meters. So I'm going to click on 31 meter. Oops, I'm not click on. I'm going to move that up to 31 meters. Now you have to hit the update button right here. Not button, but you got whatever. You have to hit it, and it will download from the database. Now it's using the EIBI database, which is a database that's constantly being updated, so it's fairly accurate. And now it's showing all the frequencies and stations that are on right now, right when I did that update. So I can scroll, I can come over here and scroll up and down. So I can see on the 31 meter band, that's not the 31 meter band. 31 meter band is 9 megahertz. What's wrong here? There we go. I guess you have to select update of the whole database and then select the meter band you want. Didn't realize that. Don't remember having to do that before, but what the heck. Okay, so now it's showing all the stations that are broadcasting right now on the 31 meter band. And right now is 10 a.m. Wow, day is shot again. And then you can scroll up and down. You see a lot more stations on the 31 meter band right now. So then you could tune your radio to those frequencies and see if you can receive those frequencies. So this is a new feature that you get if you pay that $1.49 US dollars. Like I say, the basic program that you can load off the Amazon store is free. And you get all these features up here that I showed you before in a previous video, but you don't get the Now and you don't get the Favorites. So what I could do is I could select a frequency. So that's another option that you had before. I'm going to select frequency, and I'm going to put in up here, I'm a little bit off screen there. Up here I'm going to put a frequency that I'm interested in. And this is in kilohertz, so I'm going to select 9750, and I'm going to leave the time what it is right now, and I'm going to say search the database that it's downloaded. When you first start this application, it downloads, it takes a few minutes to download the EIBI database. And then now over here it's showing, let me get this out of the way, it's showing what's on 9750 at 1500 UTC. These are the stations. Let me zoom in a little bit. I apologize for having to use a camera in my tablet. I know this is not the best in the world. Okay, so it lists 4 stations that are possibly transmitting right now on 9.750 megahertz. And of course, the one I was looking for is China Radio right here. And then there's Japan, some other China radio type station, and in Radio Kuwait. So since China Radio is one of my favorites, I could click on that star, and then it shows the possible frequencies that it could be on, which this is saying 97.55. I don't know why it's saying that, but I want to click 97.55, and then now the star is highlighted. So now it should be in my favorites. So if I go to favorites, yep, there it is. Did I actually go there? Yeah, there it is right there. And it can display on the map where, whoops, you're not seeing that. Let me just slide it up here. Now, down at the bottom it says display on the map either all of these or my favorites. So I'm going to say display on the map all of these. These are 4 entries. So it says allow software schedules to access this device location, my location. Okay, sure, why not? So there's the transmit pattern from these various stations. Actually, it looks like all the stations are in the same area. You can zoom out or in. So there's the pattern. But there's the direction in which these transmitters are transmitting. Okay, so you can, like I say, I put in frequency, you can put in station, and let's search for, oh, I don't know, air, I don't want air, All India Radio. Okay, we'll do a search, and there it is right there. There's all the things that are on and when they're on All India Radio. And you can display those on the map. Now, that, I'm guessing that's going to be pretty messy because there's so many of them. So let's go do it anyway. Yeah, that's a big blur because there were so many in that list. I went the wrong way here on my Zoom. So that's kind of useless. But anyway, it's trying to show you all those stations on the map and their transmitter pattern, I'll call it. So again, I reviewed this in more depth before. I just wanted to tell you about those updated features, the Now feature and the Favorites feature. So there's the one favorite that I added. Go back to Now. What's on Now? I can pick a band. Let's pick something a little higher. Let's go to 41 meters. Whoops, I forgot you got to do this. And that goes to 41 meters. So now let me zoom in so I can show you again. So here's all the stations that are on when I selected update up here, when I pushed the update, which the time was 14:58. So I can update it again. So it's searching the database and pulling this information out of the database. Now, as before, it goes back to the 75 meters, so I have to, again, select 41, and then it gives me the stuff that's on the 41 meter band. A little quirk you have to remember. I'll have to talk to the author about that. It seems like once you've selected this, then when you do an update, it should stay there. It doesn't seem to be doing it. You have to go back to that. So anyway, just want to show you, this is one of many shortwave schedule programs or applications for the Android. This is really handy because you can have this running by your radio. Take this with you. Take your tablet or your phone. This will work on a phone with you. Go to a park, and you can use this to look up things. Either things that you're hearing, you can look up by putting in the frequency, or use this new option of what's on now. Pretty cool. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. And have a great day. Bye-bye.